In this video, we want to work on category controller and we want to add the edit and delete action. Now in edit and delete both of them, we are passing the ID. So if we go to category controller, we can copy the get for create and paste it right here. We'll call it get for edit and we'll call this as edit as well. In here, we will be receiving an ID because that is what we are passing from the ASP route ID right here. So we'll receive an ID, and based on that ID, we need to retrieve that category from the database and we need to display that to the user. So here we will first check if ID is equal to null. Let's make it a nullable field. Or we can say if ID is equal to 0. If it is any one of these scenarios, we will just return back not found because that is invalid. If that is not the case, we want to retrieve the category from the database. Now we will be using the DB context. In there we have category. This will retrieve all of the categories. But we just want the one category where ID matches the ID that we receive in the parameter. So for that, EF code provides a find method in which you need to pass the ID. Here, the find method works only on primary key. So if you pass the primary key of category, it will go through that column and pick a record whose primary key matches what we pass here, which is the ID. After we get that, we can check here if object is null. This means record was not found and we can return back not found again. If it finds the record, let's pass the record to the view so that we can display it. So this looks good. Let me add the view. We'll go with the razor view and let's add this. Edit will look exactly similar to what we have for create, but the only difference is values will be populated. Let's go to the create for category, copy everything, close this, and paste it right here. Rather than action, which is create, we can just remove this from form. The reason I was able to remove that is we are in edit and the post action is also the same name as edit. So in that case, it is an optional field. If it was something else, then you should define what action it should post to. Since it is same, we can remove that. We do not need the validation summary. Rather than add, we will display edit category here. We'll scroll down. In the value create, we will just display update. With that in place, let's run this application and give edit a try. So we'll go to category. We should have two buttons, edit and delete. Let's click on edit. Great, you can see the name as well as display order was populated by default. So next thing that we want to do is when we hit this update, these values should be updated in the database. Let's work on that in the next video.